Hey, I'm Rob Gant with the Berkeley Independent and the Goose Creek Gazette. I'm here today with Roger Lee of the Summerville Journal-Scene, Chris Candor of Edward Jones. Chris is a former coach in the area, coached at Goose Creek, Stratford, and West Ashley. We are talking some football. Special thanks to our sponsors, Grace Funeral Services, Hoover the Mover in Monk's Corner, and Tosha LLC Precious Metal Recyclers. Guys, we made it through week 0. Man, it was hot. Everybody was at a game. Chris, I know you took in Cane Bay and West Ashley, and you saw one heck of a game. I guess just tell us your thoughts on Cane Bay, West Ashley.
Very good football game for week 0, that's for sure. And, both teams were competitive. Both teams did make some mistakes. It's early in the season, and West Ashley found a way to win at the end after a lightning delay, no less, at 10 o'clock at night.
Week 0 is a weird deal for a coach because you don't have access to your players during the day. I guess you could make them come in early, but you probably don't. And anyway, so what's the difference between coaching your team on a day when they're in school versus when they're outside of school?
It's a tough situation. I mean, obviously those coaches all week don't have access to their players. They're coming in and practicing 3 hours a day, or 2 hours getting ready for game week, obviously. And, without having your hands on them on a daily basis while they're at school, you're unsure of what they're doing. Are they going to the mall, hanging out?
What are they eating?
What are they eating is the biggest thing, and it's, are they getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Are they getting 3 squares a day like they need? So it's a tough situation. It's hard to prepare in week 0, and, but both teams have to find a way to overcome it, and so it's fair for both of them.
Yeah, we'll get back to Chris in a second. Other scores from Berkeley County, or my side of things. Berkeley handled Stahl 69-12. Keyshawn Wicks 4 touchdowns for the Stags. Stratford defeated Timberland 21-6. Chris predicted that one. A successful coaching debut for Denny McDaniel. Mario Anderson had 176 yards rushing for the Knights and a touchdown. Also set up another one with a long run. Ashley Ridge knocked off Cane Bay, Goose Creek 13. Roger can tell us a little bit more about that. Burke knocked off Cross 26-0. Academic Magnet knocked off Northwood Academy 35-7. And Faith Ridge Christian, we'll get to more of that in a second, defeated Calhoun 46-34. Roger, over there on your side of the fence, there were some games. I guess tell me some of the scores of your games.
Summerville hosted Cedar Grove out of the Atlanta area. Fell 21-7 to Cedar Grove. No need for Green Wing fans to be alarmed. That's a real good team they played.
Definitely.
Summerville had a slow start. They, would have liked to seen Summerville get a better first half in, but they looked okay in the second half. The defense looks all right. Ashley Ridge, you mentioned, beat Goose Creek 30-13. Kind of the same thing we're used to from Ashley Ridge. They have a balanced offense. Their defense works real hard. They've got some room for improvement. I think Coach Walker will tell you that, but we'll see how they do in week 1. Fort Dorchester went to Georgia, played Glynn Academy, beat them 37-21. Big night for DeAndre Saab, the quarterback. He had 2 threw for 2 touchdowns, rushed for 2 touchdowns. Their running back had a big night. So it looks like they're kind of picking off similar to what they people have been used to from Fort Dorchester.
So reports of their demise are a little over-exaggerated?
To say the least, yes.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for the week 0 scores. We're going to move into week 1. Before we do that, though, Chris, I'm going to ask you, you've coached football teams. The coaches like to say that teams will make their biggest improvement between their first game and the second game. First of all, is that true? And kind of give me your thoughts on, coaching a team that lost their opening week game.
It is. I mean, usually you do make a heck of an improvement from week 1 to 2 or 0 to 1, whatever you want to call it now. But that's a big week because you're getting kids out there that have really never played in a football game. You've scrimmaged, you've done some things, but now you've been under the lights, so you kind of get the nerves out of the way, and you start figuring out who can play and who needs to improve in what areas, and coaches go to work, and also able to get more film on opponents, and that helps you as well to prepare, for games. So.
Well, I want to point out that Chris was 2-0 last week in his predictions. He predicted successfully that Stratford would beat Timberland and also that West Ashley would beat Cane Bay. So this man knows what he's talking about. Well, we're going to go ahead and grill him right out of the gate here. Ashley Ridge loads up the buses, heads over to Berkeley. There's a lot of excitement around the Berkeley program because of all the athletes they have. I know you may not have seen both teams a lot yet, but tell us what you think about Berkeley AR, and if you want to pick a winner, don't be a coward.
We'll say beginner's luck last week. Lucky debut.
Yeah.
But, both teams are going to be solid football teams. Berkeley is very athletic. They can score a bunch of points, it seems like. I still am high on Ashley Ridge. I think they're going to have a good football season, and I think they're a talented group. And, whether or not it all comes together for them this week or not sure. I'm going to go with the upset and pick Ashley Ridge over Berkeley.
Wow, Ashley Ridge over Berkeley. Well, let me tell you what, guys. I've seen Berkeley. I'm going to go with the Stags in that one. I really think that Eric Tuttle, the quarterback, and Keyshawn Wicks, the running back, and DJ Chisholm, the specialist. He pretty much can play anything on offense. I'm going with those guys.
Can't go wrong doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be a home opener. Let me tell you, Berkeley really has great fan support too. They that place will be packed. The students will be buzzing. I mean, Monk's Corner will definitely be a place to be because it's going to be a nice, energetic environment, and it's also going to be a good football game. I do think it'll be competitive. I just think ultimately Berkeley is going to have too many weapons for Ashley Ridge, and I think Berkeley's defense is maybe a little better than people give it credit for. This will be a good opportunity to prove it against Ashley Ridge because Ashley Ridge has a tremendous quarterback, Matt Duncan, and the running back, Nick Cunningham, is no joke either. Other games over here on my side, I think I want to throw one at Chris real quick. I guess we get you to break down. Wow. Hanahan at Myrtle Beach.
Oui.
New debut, a new coach over at Hanahan. It's going to be David Morbitzer took over. Their first game is a tough one at Myrtle Beach. I think most people would project Myrtle Beach to win that game. How do you think Hanahan keeps it close with its new offense?
That is a tough opener. Historically, Myrtle Beach has been a good football team. They can score a lot of points. They're usually athletic. And traveling to Myrtle Beach, I'm going to go with Myrtle Beach in that one. And it may be – I'm going to go pretty big, too. I'm going to go Myrtle Beach big over Hanahan.
Well, I think Hanahan will do everything it can to try to keep it close. At offense, if they can get some first downs, kind of keep the chains moving and keep the clock rolling, maybe they can keep it competitive. But I kind of agree with Chris on this one. Luke Doty, I think the Myrtle Beach quarterback is excellent. He's going to South Carolina for you Gamecock fans eventually. Other games in my area, Cross hosts Well Branch, Timberland hosts Charlotte Latin. St. John's Christian loads up the buses, heads to two-time defending 8-man champ Wardlaw. Stratford, coming off that win over Timberland, travels over to Stahl. I would expect the Knights to move to 2-0 there. Northwood hosts Dillon Christian, and one more game, Faith Ridge is going to take on Lawrence Academy. Real quick note on Faith Ridge. Ridge Christian and Faith Christian joined forces this year, and they're not eligible for the playoffs. But the good news is, they were able to field. Each school was able to have some football this fall, and it was a successful start last Friday. Well, that's it for our side, my friend. What do you got going on over there, Roger?
Well, we've got a little skis action happening. Pinewood's going to open its season hosting Ben Lippen. Ben Lippen has been to the semifinals last year. Year before that, they won the skis 3A championship. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a good test for the Panthers right off the bat. But we'll see. Ben Lippen has a new coach, so we never know what that's going to bring to the equation. We've got Summerville is hosting Wando. Let me ask you, Chris. I think Summerville is looking good this year. I don't know much about Wando. Do you think the Warriors might give the Wave a run for their money?
You don't know. Coach Noonan will do a great job over at Wando. He's a very good football coach. He'll have them prepared. I was impressed with Summerville. I watched about a half of that football game on TV, and I look for them to be pretty good, actually. I know they played a tough team out of Georgia. That team was fast, big, especially on defense, big and fast on defense. But I look for Summerville to make leaps and bounds and improvement, and I would have to go with Summerville in that football game. I'd go with Summerville beating Wando.
I think your instincts are probably pretty good. Summerville, I think they have more experience this year than Wando.
Yes.
But I don't know that much about Wando, but that it just seems like Summerville has a lot of Letterman back this year.
Yes.
We also have Fort Dorchester is hosting Cane Bay. That's going to be a good one. Cane Bay is a team that's usually played Fort well, even the years where Fort was so strong. There were some years where, came down to the fourth quarter for Fort to kind of pull away from them. So that's going to be interesting. That's at Fort Dorchester. We've got Ashley Ridge, as you mentioned before, going to Berkeley, and I think that's the game of the week. I mean, that's going to be a really interesting game. A little bit smaller school playing a bigger school, but Berkeley's got those athletes this year. So I'm not going to that one, but I almost wish I was, because that's going to be a fun game to watch.
I'll be there, my friend.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah, I got you. I'll be
I
there.
think Berkeley has a lot of senior leadership, do they not? I mean, that'll help you win some football games. I think that group has been together for a while.
They have definitely been building for this particular moment, and they feel like they are a very good football team. And this will be a chance for them to prove it. I mean, they started with Stahl. It's not a whole lot you can take from that. Stahl's just a little outmanned. And this will be a chance to see how good Berkeley really is. If Berkeley puts away Ashley Ridge, in convincing fashion, then I think maybe you can believe the hype. If they go out there and it's a dog fight and it's 13-10 or something, then maybe you might want to rethink how good you think Berkeley is. But of course, I mean, it's early in the season. Well, anyway, as far as that Fort Cane Bay game, you saw Cane Bay, you've seen Fort. We've thrown some games at you to pick. I guess we're going to throw that one at you too. Cane Bay, Fort Dorchester. How you see that one going?
Well, I'm not going to pick against Fort until they lose. That's for sure. So I mean, I'm impressed with them. I thought were the best team that I've seen in the preseason in the Low Country, just overall as a team, both size and speed. And I'd pick Fort Dorchester, like I said, until they lose a football game. I mean, I'll go with Fort in that one. I think Cane Bay, if Cane Bay can establish the line of scrimmage on offense and keep the ball, running the fullback, keeping the quarterback carrying the football, they may be able to give themselves a chance, in the game. But if Fort's big up front, if they, can't move the ball early, they could fall behind because Fort's going to score some points. And then, obviously in the Cane Bay offense, flex bone, it's hard to come back in that type of offense without being able to just throw the ball.
Yeah,
the field.
definitely.
So they're going to have to slow the game down to give themselves a chance.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm going to go with Fort Dorchester on that one too. I think Cane Bay will play hard and do everything it can to be in the game, but I'm going to go with Fort Dorchester. Well, Roger, do you have any closing thoughts since week one's out of the way?
Just from what I've seen in the preseason and week 0, I think it's going to be a great football season. We've got a lot of strong teams right here in the Low Country. I'm looking to see who that sleeper is going to be. Obviously Fort's kind of put themselves out there as the team to beat, but they've got a lot of teams that are, I think could surprise some people and just have really strong years.
Do you have anything else to add, Chris?
Week 1. Here we go. This is it now, I think.
All right. Well, I appreciate David Kennard, our editor and film man, for taking care of us today. Special thanks to our sponsors, Grace Funeral Services, Hoover the Mover in Monk's Corner, Tosha LLC, Precious Metal Recyclers, and this is Chris Candor over here, Roger Lee over here. Thanks for watching.